There we go. Okay, welcome everybody to Coffee and Art in the Morning. It's Wednesday, and we had a day off for our jury duty week. I went Monday and Tuesday, and they told us we didn't have to come today, but we had to come back tomorrow on Thursday. So I was able to stream today. I did get some happy mail in from Pam, one and only Grand Pam on YouTube. I got some happy mail, but I told her I got her happy mail and that I had jury duty this week. She said, "Well, good because she couldn't be here this week anyway." So I'll show her happy mail on Monday. So on my usual happy mail time. So and Miss Rose said she sent some napkins and things to us too. So I'll probably have a lot of show and tell on Monday. Happy mail. So, but I just wanted to tell Pam thanks for the happy mail, and I'll be showing it on Monday. Um, so if you're just watching the recording here, this is a live show on ustream.tv, and it's free if you want to come over and join in on the chat. It's a live chat with mostly live people, Jean. Uh, it's a live chat with mostly live people, and so it's fun to hang out and chat with everybody live, and yeah. And then I upload the program to YouTube after we're done, and there's no editing. There's no fast forwarding, no editing. It is what it is, just like you see when if you're here live, except the live chat. So hey Jeannie and everybody else popping in. I think I said hi to pretty much everybody before I hit record. I try to do that. I try to say hi to everybody before I hit record. So anyway, during jury duty yesterday, I drew this. This is for the Sketchy group, and what Sketchy is, it's a group where you can it's free too, and you can join it, and you can get it as an app on your device. And what it is people upload photographs of themselves for you to draw. And so this is one of the young men that I drew from the Sketchy group. And I'm not quite finished. I got a little bit more tweaking to do. But anyway, so you can kind of see. It wants to flash out. But so this is what I did during waiting to be called in jury duty. You just sit there. You better be prepared. If you ever have jury duty, bring something to read or draw or sketch or something. So this is what I did yesterday. So I'm not quite finished with it, but I do want to finish that today and upload. And then I also have some commissions that I've got to get crack-a-lacking on. I've got 4 grandchildren to do, and from one family, and then I have I met somebody yesterday that wants me to draw his son. So, yeah, so I'm real busy with commissions. So, hey, Janet. And yeah. Okay, so anyway, that was that. So what I wanted to do today, well, I wanted to do this week, but I knew I had jury duty, so I knew I'd have to put it off. Was I want to do our drawing of Angie Bell. So that is in the future too. I do have her sketched out, ready to go, so that we can work on her. But I can't do it today because I don't want to rush drawing her. Right. I don't want to rush drawing her here, and I can't stay here for 6 hours today. So I want to do it on a time when I can take more time, even if we have to do 2 parts. So that will do that. And yes, yes, Carrie. So on Monday, I showed that the markers that I got from Eileen, the watercolor Zig Kuretake markers that I got from Eileen. She gifted these to me. It was such a surprise and very, very sweet. Now, these are way different than the markers that I use in my color books. Okay, these are just the Crayola markers that I use in my color books, along with jelly roll pens, pencils, and acrylic paint. But if I use any kind of markers in the color book, it's these. They're just Crayola water based. Okay, they're just a water-based marker. They don't blend. They're just, little, cheap little markers, which are fine for me in a color book, right? So Eileen sent me these that are actual watercolor in a marker. Okay, they're blendable, and it's like watercolor in a marker. They're very vibrant, very pigmented. I did a little test of, a color chart of them, and the colors you see there are pretty much the exact colors that they are in, when you put them down. When you write with them. They're a brush tip. Let me get one down here. They're a brush tip, and it's a real brush. It's not a fiber. It's not fibers. That's a real brush there, right? So just so you know the difference. And they're very vibrant, and it's a nice tiny point, right? It's nice and tiny. Now I'm going to zoom in here a little bit more and refocus the camera, but I just wanted you to see. I've got them pushed in face down in the box so I could see the colors, but I think I am going to put a color thing on the top here. I think it was Jennifer McGuire that did a little dot. She would color on a white piece of paper, punch it out with a punch, and then glue the little punch hole thing on there so you could see the exact color. And then your markers can be face up, because now if they're face up, you can't see, the color, right? So that's just how I have them down there. And then Jean says, yeah, she has them too, and she loves them. Yeah, they're clean color. They're called Zig Clean Color Real Brush Marker. They're made by Kuretake. Kuretake and Zig got together, whatever, and they, and so yeah, that if you look them up on Amazon. But again, guys, these are real watercolors, and they're not cheap. They're not. You can't get 10 of these for $10 like you can the Crayola. Just saying. Okay, so I want it, and also you really need to do these on watercolor paper. Here's what I found in just a quick test that I did with them when I got them. If you just try to, you can do it a little bit, and it all depends on the paper, how well they're gonna blend. They're really made for watercolor paper because they are real watercolors. And if you try to use them, like say in a color book, for one, if your paper is thin, it will go through if the paper is thin. And two, these soak in. So because they're so pigmented and concentrated, they'll soak in and into your paper. Whereas a watercolor paper is made, it just doesn't like soak in like in 5 seconds, right? So it really would behoove you to, if you do get these, to do things on watercolor paper or things that are printed on watercolor paper. And apparently, I have not seen it yet, but the girls have been talking about it. Prima has a new watercolor book on watercolor, a color book on watercolor paper. I've not seen it, not tested it. However, I do have some of these sheets back from 2007 when Prima came out with watercolor. This is watercolor paper. I'd say it's 140 pound weight. It's not hot press. It's not 100% smooth. It's not rough. It's probably just a cold press paper. And they printed on the watercolor paper. So it's nice, thick. As you can hear. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Jean. Yeah, they're made by Kuretake in Japan and distributed by Zig over in the West. So thanks, Jean. Yeah. So these are from 2007 Prima IOD paintables. If some of y'all remember these. And I've used a few of them. I've cut a lot of them up. And I did also have, some of them are upside down. I need to turn this all upside down. I dug them out of my paper stash. And I'll zoom in when we start coloring. And so they made these like in the scrapbook industry. So if you wanted to paint them or color them or marker or whatever you wanted to do with them and use them as scrapbook pages. And they had also, a couple years ago, well, I say a couple, probably maybe 3 or 4 years ago, they made some postcards and ATC size, watercolor cards that were printed on the same watercolor paper for you to do watercolor on. And I've used all those. I looked around and I can't find a single one. So I must have either used them all and given them all away, painted them and given them away, or whatever. And so I don't have any of the little cards left. So I'm going to, show you the ones here that I have, and we're going to do something on one of these. So these were more like they were like made seasonal type because people, they really made them for people to use with their scrapbooks. So they had seasonal things like here's a snowflake, Christmas caroling bells. And again, they're made by Prima. There's the little flower. Okay, this one I started doing the border with just, some markers or pencils. I don't even remember what I used, to tell you the truth, because it's so long ago when I had these. But you can see this one's left with a big open space so that you could put, what pictures or whatever in there. Here's a cityscape one. Hey, Judy Patootie. You got one of the postcards from me, Colleen? Yeah. And then this one's a Valentine Day one. Big flower. A heart here. Same thing. This is a duplicate of that. And then here's another Valentine Day one with the little Cupid and hearts. This one might be good to do because we can blend the hearts. So I want to use something where we can do some blending. So there's that. Got another one of those. When these came out, I think I bought 5 of each. I think they were like $2 or $3 a piece. But when they came out, I thought they were so awesome. Back in 2007, when these came out, they were just so cool to have these printed watercolor sheets. Here's another one of those. And then this one is just some flourishes and some little daisies, some little flowers, polka dots. And then again, this is another one of the, has little roses, a little border. And then, you can do whatever you want in the middle. I got a few of those left. This one, I actually did I painted this one years ago and put Boo when she was like, I think she was 2, maybe 3, and a scrapbook page, and I put her in there. And so these are some roses, so you can see that. And then a little pure, genuine what does it say? Oh, beauty. Pure genuine beauty. That's what it says. So, this one might be good to do too because we could blend the lettering nicely. And then here's just this is just flowers. And this one I did with a gel pen so you can see it's shiny. I think I did this with a souffle, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe I did that with a souffle pen. You can't, I'm trying to capture the shine. So there's that one. Again, another city one. Let's see what else is in here. This one's just a whole page full of hearts. This one might be good to, and I think that's what I did do on this one. I cut this one up into postcards and colored them and sent them out. So this one would be fun. And I wouldn't want to do them all in red. I'd want to do them in all different colors so we could test. The watercolor pen markers on that. Again, another one of those. I think they had maybe, I don't know, 6 or 8 designs when they came out. Maybe 8. I don't remember. Because it's in 2007 when they came out with these. Here's another one that we colored and put some little white dots in there. Here's where we started doing a fluorescent, only using fluorescent colors, fluorescent pen colors. And another one of the little cherubs. Another one of these hearts. And then here's the Christmas bells, and we did that with a gold marker, a gold paint pen. So, and showed, just did kind of an ombre green, did light, medium, and dark green throughout the whole Christmas Carol song. And then the snowflakes, again, we did that with, it looks like we did that with souffle. Because see how the souffle makes it shiny. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, some snowflakes. All right, so anyway, I dug those out because I knew I had them somewhere. So I think we might go with this. Maybe do a rose and some of the lettering, Now, let me start by saying I've not used these yet either. So if you want a full-on how-to tutorial by someone that really knows these markers well, this is going to be the first time I've used them. So just saying. Just saying. Don't email me and say, oh, you got to do it. Yeah, I know. If you want a full-on tutorial, go on to... Let me move my picture here of a guy I'm drawing. Okay, so I'm looking around, see if there's anything else needed. Oh, I got to get my water brush. Let me get my water brush here. Get one of the... Got 3 of them, and one of them is a little... Yeah, this is the best one. Okay, still got some water in it. I'll probably have to go refill it. Okay, so Christina Werner has some bits. Okay, I knew her name just slipped my mind. The one I mentioned earlier. Anyway, just put it in. Just put the Zig clean color or Kuretake clean color markers in the YouTube search. You'll find videos. Trust me. Okay, so let me go ahead and zoom in a little. Let me zoom in a little. Maybe 3, and then let's refocus. Let's refocus because I want it to be as clear as we can get it. Let's see how that looks. That looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. What do y'all think? Does that look pretty good? I know it flashes out because it's white, so we just have to deal with it. Yeah, Jennifer McGuire. Thank you, Jean. So Jennifer McGuire or Christina Werner. Either one of those guys if you want to find out more about the markers, right? So I'm just going to put them up here and kind of so I can see the colors. And I think what we'll do is, I know the roses are usually like, red and pink. And I'm going to do it like a yellow, orange, and red just so that we can see the blendable colors. And also then maybe on the lettering we'll do some green, some blue, this is just going to be like our test page, right? Maybe on the leaves we'll do a couple shades of green. I wish Eileen was here because Eileen's the one that sent them to me, but she's probably her mom had got her eye surgery, so yeah. Sandra did a show on them too. Okay, so I missed that one. So Zandra, which is Scraps to Beauty, she has done a show as well, Carrie just said. Yes, Judy, I have to go back tomorrow. Okay, so let's go ahead. Maybe let's just start with these leaves right here. Let's start with the leaves. Now this is a set of 36, and I'm going to let you see the colors here. There's tons of greens and blues. There's not a lot of, there's like these colors that you could use for like skin tones, which that's really a good amount. These 5 I would say right here. Plus there's a kind of a darker pink there. But I'm going to use some of the greens. So let's go ahead and pick out, I'm going to just start with 2 and then we'll probably add in a darker one. Let's go with 3 greens, okay? Let's go with these 3, kind of a light, medium, and dark so we can see the blendability. These greens right here are gorgeous. They're kind of a gray. It's like they're more gray than green, but those are awesome colors right there. Those 3, and there's a kind of a slate gray there, kind of a blue gray. And I've taken them all out and just put them back in how I wanted them, So, bye, Sharon. Oh, Shabs. It was Shabs. Sherry Shabs. Hey, CB. Okay, so what we're going to do is lay down some of the color. Again, this is watercolor paper. Watercolor paper, okay? So I am going to just try a couple different things. We're going to try light to dark, dark to light, and blending of the different ones, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and start with light, and I'm just going to do these leaves right here. Am I close enough? I think maybe we need to zoom in another one. Let's see, because I want y'all to be able to really see. Let's really zoom in, but let me refocus here. Hang on, guys. Is that focusing? Nice and bright, too. Hang on, guys. Let me refocus. Hang on. It's not quite focusing yet. Not sure. It's hard for the streamer to tell sometimes. Wait a minute. Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay, there. Hopefully that will do. There we go. I think that's pretty good. All righty. So if y'all have any questions, put them in caps. I'm going to go get some hot coffee here in a minute because I can tell my voice is going. Okay, so let's go ahead. And again, this is this is a brush, not fibers. Okay, that's not a fiber tip. It's an actual brush. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with putting on some of the light green here, or the like it's like an olive. All right, and I just want to test. Let's just show how it pulls. All right, so now I got my water brush, and I'm just gonna pull that out and feather that lightly out. So we're gonna do some different testing here, just so you can see. This is our test page. I'm not trying to do a full on something here. All right, so that got a little too light. So let's go with the same color, and because it's a watercolor brush, you can go in here when that's wet and add more. It's not like a felt tip marker where if you put a felt tip marker into water, you're probably going to ruin yeah, it's got hairs, Carrie. Yeah. Well, I don't want to, I don't have any nails to really separate it, but it's like it's actual hairs. If you tried to put a felt tip marker into water like this, it would ruin the marker after a couple of, Yes, I'm recording, Lynn. Okay, so there's one with just, water and one color. All right, so let's go over here and let's do some of the light green again. And let's just go to the darkest green. I'm going to skip the medium green and go right to the dark green. Okay, this is kind of a brighter green. It's not as, maybe I should have gone with this one because it's a little bit more on the olive side, but we're going to go for it now. Okay, so you can see where I put those two colors down. Now I'm going to kind of just blend them out, and let me get a Kleenex to clean my brush. They're very pigmented, so if I don't want to lose the light green totally, I want to kind of come into that too. So you can see those two colors blend. Can you see that? I'm hoping y'all are able to see. All right, so there's the darkest and the lightest of the three. Now I'm gonna put that dark green away because it's not. I think I want them all olive. I want them all to kind of be the same hue, or same. See this one, how it's bright. It's brighter. Okay, so now let's just go with another leaf. Let's go with this one and do the same thing. We're just playing with some different, see how they blend. So I'm going to put the darker, yeah, that's more olivey. I like that better. It's a nice olive. Okay, and then I'm going to put the light one up here. And then we'll put the medium one in the middle. Again, I'm not necessarily trying to make this a real leaf. This is just for testing the blending. Okay? So I'm going to go in from the light to the dark because if I go in from the, you can go either way. But if you go from the dark to the light, you're going to have to clean your brush off because otherwise you're just going to bring all the dark. Like let's go back with the olivey green, the dark olive, and let's go over this right here. Okay. And pull that one in. So if you have to kind of be careful not to get rid, you don't want to lose the light green, right? You don't want to lose the light green there. All right, so here we go. We're up in here with the lightest of the three. I'm just going to kind of pull it into the medium. And so if you don't want to squeeze your water brush, you don't want too much water because you don't want to get it so watery that you don't need to. All right, so then here's the darker green. And you could pull up some of the veinings like, like that. So I hope you can see that. You have the Pentel brushes and you're doing it. Okay. Yeah, this is a Pentel water brush too. I'm pretty sure it's the Pentel. Let's see if I can see it. Pretty sure it's the Pentel. The one with the wide barrel like that. I like this one because it's thick, and I think you can get them in fine, medium, and large, but they hold their tip really well. So they hold their tip. It looks stained, but that doesn't matter. Okay. All right. So just so you can see, and you can see it's shiny. When it's shiny like that, it's still wet on watercolor paper. I don't know if you can see. All right, so let's go in here now and maybe add with this one here. And also because they're watercolors, they're going to be reconstitutable. In other words, they're not going to be permanent. I don't, as far as I know, now, unless somebody can correct me, these are just like watercolors, and watercolors are not permanent. So if I re-wet something that's dry, it's still going to move. So be aware of that. If you use these in any mixed media fashion, you're not going to be able to slather on some matte medium over the top of this. It's going to move. It's watercolor. Okay. All right. So let's go in here with some orange, some brighter orange. So it's kind of just so you can see, right? So I'm going to go over here on top of this leaf with some orange, and I'm going to blend that in there. See, it's just like watercolor. And again, this is the first time I've used these markers. It's not the first time I've watercolored, but I don't watercolor much, just to be honest. You've seen the boots that I've watercolored and a few other things. It's just not my forte. Okay. It's just, I mean, it's nothing wrong. I love the way it looks and everything. It's just that, to be proficient in anything, you're going to have to practice. And I just haven't, I've taken, I think one watercolor class years and years ago. I want my olive green again. Here we go, the darker one. I gotta remember to stay in camera, but it's just not what I don't do it a lot, right? Yeah, these are the Zig, Kuretake Zig. They got together, like Jean said. Kuretake is making the Zig water brush. Here, let me show you what they look like. Zig Clean Color Real Brush. There we go. Okay. Hey Z, somebody said that you did a show on these markers too. We were just talking about that. So y'all check out, no, don't check it out. Peruse the awesomeness that is Zandra on Scraps to Beauty. Oh, so you can just, clean. I have a Kleenex right here because Kleenex is real good for like cleaning off a water brush, better than a paper towel. Just FYI, a Kleenex will pull the paint off a lot easier than it just sucks it off, better than a paper towel. So there you go. We got orange, yellow, and a green there. So you can kind of see that. And then in here we have a couple of shades of green. And then we did the light. I got to get used to looking at the back side of it. Let's add a little bit more of the olive color here. And again, this is on, I'm guessing Prima did this on 140 weight cardstock, watercolor paper. It's actual watercolor paper that they did this on, that they made these Prima sheets on back in 2007, these paintables. And again, somebody said, I don't know, Zandra, do you have the color book? Do you have the Prima color book? So I want to see if Zandra, because I haven't watched her show yet where she's used these markers. So I wanted to know if she used the Prima color book on watercolor paper. So I'm waiting because there's a lag. I got to wait. So, okay. All right, so now let's go ahead. I haven't seen her answer yet. So let me go ahead again with the orange. Let's go with the orange on the edge of this green and just kind of blend in like almost like a fall leaf. Hey, Anita. I don't see Zandra answering, so I'm not sure what color book or what she's using. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of the orange there. Now, again, it's going to be like watercolor. If you get it the colors too mixed, you're going to get it muddy, right? So if I kept adding this orange on the green, I'm going to end up with a brown. Vicky said her Prima color book will be here today. Okay. I'm just wondering if Sandra in her show used that color book. All right, so there's a couple of leaves, test leaves. Okay, now let's do an orange and red leaf. So I'm going to get my red and maybe a sienna brown. And it does change the color a little bit on the camera, guys. Hey, Eileen, we're just starting to use your markers. For those of y'all who didn't know, Eileen is the one that gifted these to me. Eileen, in other words, ETEE, Eileen, the enabler elf. And I got them last Friday, right at the same time Hubster was coming in from the airport. Literally walked in the door at the same time that my mail got here. And then he had a cold over the weekend, so we didn't do anything, go anywhere. He slept all weekend, and I just didn't get a chance to really play over the weekend. Then this week I've had jury duty, and today we have off. So we had jury duty Monday, Tuesday. They gave us today off. We have to be back tomorrow at 8:30. So I thought this would be a good time to, just do a little watercolor marker test. But hang on, guys. I've got to go get some coffee because I'm losing my voice. Okay. Some hot coffee and a couple Sour Patch Kids. That'll do it. And Eileen just said that pencils work great over it too. So we'll do a little of that test too. But always remember, anytime you use pencils, now I'm just talking like Prismacolor. Watercolor pencils, of course, you're using watercolor, but you want to make sure it's dry. Make sure your watercolor's dry before you start adding pencil. Otherwise, you're going to be digging into wet paper, right? So, okay. All right. So we'll use some pencil too. Just get something in my throat's just scratchy, or dry rather. All right, so now we're going to, over here, we're going to do these three color leaves to try to make like a fall leaf. Yes, these are the watercolor markers. The Kuretake Zig, clean color, real brush, watercolor, real watercolor, and a marker. All right, so I'm going to start with putting, let's just go right down the middle here with the brown, or the like a sienna color. Gotta remember to stay in camera. Then we're going to go on either, whoops, no, with the red. I'm going to go on either side with the red. And then I'm going to put some orangey, kind of yellowy orange there. And we're going to blend those with the water brush. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of blend the brown and the red right there. Now, so I don't get too much brown or red in the light color, I'm going to dab off my brush there and just blend it. Get too much, because it's very pigmented, guys. So if you want to keep those light colors, you're going to have to keep your brush clean, or you just pull all that red right into it. You know, I mean, you want to blend it, but if you try to pull it out too far, you just have a solid red leaf, right? There we go. Thanks, Sandra. So, Sandra, did you get the color book? I missed the answer to my question. All right, now the other thing here, let's go ahead and test this. Let's just do it right here. I'm just using this as a test sheet for different things. Let's don't add any water, and let's just do some blending. All right, so here's some of the brown. And let's add some of the red. Okay. And then some of the orange. And then I'll get some yellow out as well. But it's very pigmented. I mean, it's pulling like right in, right? Okay. And now let's get the yellow. So you can see how vibrant it is when you don't add any water, how vibrant that is. I need to blend a little bit more orange in there. See, isn't that pretty? Is that pretty? You have Christy Rice's watercolor book. Okay, let me write that down because I haven't heard of that one either. Let me write Sandra Show. And she said Christy Rice is the watercolor book that Sandra has. Kristy Rice, Rice. Watercolor. Okay, thanks, Z. So there we go. All right, now I think on this side, what I'm going to do is going to take one of the, like the lime green, and we'll go on this side and take the yellow, and we're going to make a nice light green there. See how it blends? Okay. Okay, now let's take even one of the olive greens and add even a little bit darker on this side. I'm just trying to see how many colors we can kind of blend. Let's go back without the water. This is no water here. This is just the markers. Where's the light green I just had? Oh, that was it. Okay. So we'll add the more light green and a little bit more yellow, just so you can see how it blends. There we go. Whoop, sorry guys, got off camera. So there we go. So that's the colors, how vibrant they are. That's no water. The bird cards that okay. Eileen said that the bird cards that she sent us. So if you got one of Eileen's, what are they called? Wacky birds? What kind of birds are they called? Those Tim Holtz birds? Eileen said she made with these brushes. I forget what those birds are called. Those Tim Holtz, they're not wacky birds. Oh, crazy birds? I don't know. Yeah, so if you want, you can do it without the water, very vibrant. But if you want to blend it out to have more of a watercolory effect, you know, let me add a little bit more on this one and then some water here just to kind of blend that out. And because this is watercolor paper, guys, it's like, it's thick, right? It's thick, it's not going to go through, and it acts, it does what watercolor paper is supposed to do, right? Crazy birds. I don't. Let me see if I have any left. I might have given them all away, Eileen. I think I have one that you sent me, but those are in a separate place. Yeah, I don't have any more of Eileen's crazy birds. I've given them all away. Oops, sorry guys, I bumped the tripod leg again. Okay, so now let's do like some purples or something. Let's do some purples. This is just our test sheet. Then we'll do some blues and green, or some blues, some different colors on the lettering. We'll do that too. Okay, so I got to turn all these around so I can see the colors. I got to turn them because I've got them all out, half of them out of the box. I want to be able to see the colors. Okay, so let's go with a couple of the purple. Let's go with these three. Okay, this is kind of a blue purple, bluey purple, more on the blue side, purple, and a lavender. So we're going to go with these three colors for this little bit of this rose. And again, I'm not trying to make this look like a realistic rose. I'm playing with the colors. We're just playing with the colors. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with, like, along the bottom here with this blue. Let's just go along the edge here. Maybe pull that down a little there. We're going to start on this on the bottom here. Okay, and then I'm going to add some of the purple. I'm just going to put a swipe of it so you can see it blend. Okay, and then I'm going to go with some lavender. And again, I can sit here and blend with just the markers if that's what you want to do. I want to do both. I want to show you with just the marker like this. Well, let's go ahead and just do this with just the marker. Okay, so now I'm going to blend this in with the lavender, the dark blue, and it may be kind of hard to, I don't know, I hope the colors are coming, because I am kind of going over, some areas are printed black, right? So it may not be hard to see some of those colors. Okay, so I'm going to go along this edge here and just kind of pull in, just kind of pulling in the purple. Okay, so now we've got the dark blue, the purple, and the lavender. But now what I want to see is, now I want to take water and pull out and like really lighten it up. So now let's take the lavender and pull this up to, like real faint it out, right? So you can see. Is that showing up? Maybe pull up a little more. Kind of blend that in. And again, because it's watercolors, you can go in, you can go back on top of the water, where if you tried to do this, say with the Crayola, kids, water-based markers, if you try to put that on top of a big pile of water, it's going to ruin those felt tips. The felt tip markers, because these are not felt tip markers, and it's watercolor. Okay, you see that? Let's go back in with some of the dark over here, the blue. This, trying to see how we can blend some different areas. And then the purple. If I get it too dark, though, it's not going to show up on camera. It's going to look like one color. I can see that that's blue and purple, but on camera it may look like it's just one dark color. Okay, and then some more of the lavender. Can you see how cool that looks? And so if you use these on other types of paper, you want to make sure and test it especially if you're going to try to use it in a color book, which this is just my view of that. These markers are too expensive to use. Now, again, you could test. There's nothing wrong with testing anything in your color book, but to use these up on a full-on color book page, unless you're going to frame that picture, these are too expensive just to use in a color book. Unless it's like a watercolor color book where you're going to be able to do all this effect and you're going to want to do something with that piece. That's just me, okay? That's just my view of it. If I'm going to do something like this, if I'm going to use these markers, I'm going to want to use them on something more that I'm going to want to keep more, not just in a color book, okay? So that's just me. Don't email me. If you want to use them in your color book, you can test them. But I can tell you it's not going to blend as nicely on just cardstock, okay? Because they're so pigmented and so concentrated. They soak into the paper, all right? They soak right in. And if you're not using a watercolor paper, you're not going to have, it's not going to do this because it's not watercolor paper. You can probably, I'm sure you can blend some, but you're probably going to waste a lot of pigment trying to do this on cardstock because the paper is sucking up. It sucks up that, it does a little bit, but, then if you feel like you've got it too, much, if you get too much of one color, like let's say yellow and red, if you get too much red on your yellow, you can just kind of roll it off a little bit. It's not bad. It doesn't really contaminate like you think it might, right? And then I always, like on my water brush, now I clean my water brush off, right? Just kind of dap it off. But anyway, so it's totally up to you. But the colors, yes, I love the colors in this set too, Eileen. But if you're using them on cardstock, it's just soaking it. It's just like soaking in the pigment. And so you're using a lot of pigment on a piece of cardstock. And if you try to get it too wet, right, you try to blend it too much, a piece of cardstock's going to pill. It's going to start pulling apart. The fibers are going to start coming apart. So that's why I think I would recommend either a color book that is made with watercolor paper, or something that's printed on watercolor paper. I don't remember what Eileen did her birds on. Eileen, what kind of paper did you do your birds on? Your crazy birds. So when this dries, then I'm going to take some pencil and I'm going to see what we can do with color pencil. Cardstock is a no-go for these, yeah. So did you use watercolor paper, Eileen, for the birds? Your Prima paintables are selling on Amazon $25 a page? So should I hoard them? Oh my gosh. Okay. So so I guess Xander went to see about buying some of these because these, and by the way, Eileen, we thought they were 2009. They're from 2007. It's from 2007 when Prima put these out. The IOD paintables by Prima. I'm thinking they were like, what, $3 a sheet back then, Eileen, back in 2007. I bought a stack. I think I bought 5 of each. I think I bought 5 of each of the 8 designs or whatever they had. And again, they did make a couple of years ago, maybe 4 years or 5, I don't remember, but they made the little postcards. And I had those for a long time and finally used them. And like Colleen said, she got one of those that I sent her. You always use watercolor paper, yeah. Because the thing is, guys, if you start getting any paper, any kind of paper real wet, either it'll go through. Even when I do my washes on the in the color book with acrylic paint, I don't wet it because you're going to pill or just put a hole in that paper. And cardstock, just plain old cardstock, really pills really easy. In other words, if you, let me just get a piece of cardstock. got a piece of cardstock sitting here. Hang on, let me find one. So that's just a plain old piece of cardstock. Well, it's going to flash out. Um, if you start wetting a cardstock very much, you probably won't be able to see it. But the fibers are already coming. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see it, even if I use color. But it's coming. It's like it does that. It well, you can't see it. But the fibers come apart. It just comes apart. So you can't really do much wet on just cardstock. The kids' Crayola markers, you know, that if you're using that in a color book or something, that's fine because you're not wetting it like, you know, you're just coloring like something like this, right? But and these, by the way, do not these will not blend. These are just the kids water based. So that's okay. But if you start like wanting to blend and add water and color, your paper falls apart. It falls apart. So you can get some cute printed watercolor sheets in a pad at Michael's. Okay, that's good to know, Eileen. I don't think I've ever seen those. So you can get some cute printed watercolor sheets in a pad at Michael's. Okay, I'll make a note of that too, Eileen. Um, Mike's printed watercolor. So I would just recommend, and Eileen said too, watercolor paper, which this is. This is watercolor paper. Okay. Now the what I only watched that one Jennifer McGuire video, and she used her Stays On ink and stamp, and that's what Eileen probably did too. I Stays On, Eileen, is that right? What you use, or the Memento, the permanent black ink to stamp your image and cut and do it. That's what Eileen did her birds, but I'm just not sure which ink Eileen used. Did you use Stays On or Memento, Eileen? For the or the Ranger. Is it what is it? Is that this? What's the Ranger one? Archival. That's what I'm thinking of. Archival. The Ranger Archival. This right here, or Memento, or Stays On. You know, something permanent, right? I think Memento's permanent. I'm not sure, but yeah, archival for sure. This right here. So if you stamp your rubber stamps or whatever, acrylic stamps, you know, because this won't, once it's dry. And even me, I would even heat set that. I would just, yeah, I would even heat set this. That's just me, just to make sure it's 100% dry before you started going over it with your watercolors. Okay. I'm going to let this dry a little bit more, and then we're going to test some pencils on some of this. All right, so let's go down here with some blues. Let's get the light blue. Let's just use light blue and a medium blue. Let's just test these two first and see about doing like an ombre effect here, lettering, ombre lettering. Let's see how dark this one is. Okay, so I'm going to just do half the letters with the dark. And I'll try it first without any with no water, just with markers, right? So then we're going to take well, I might do some water at the very top to make it real, almost white. Okay, and then this is kind of a turquoisey blue. So I'm just going to blend those two and pull that up like that. And you can blend it more. Just take your time and blend. Okay. To do some ombre letters. Again, if I tried to do all this like on cardstock with just water and water, this, the paper would be totally pilled up. But you want to blend it really nice. That. And let's go ahead and take that dark blue, and let's go ahead and go down here. Let's go ahead and put that dark blue at the very bottom here. That dark blue. And now I'm gonna take the water because I don't have a lighter blue. That's the lightest blue I have. So now I'm going to take the water and feather that up like that. I'm going to dab the excess pigment off on my Kleenex just so I can keep it real light. Because it's so pigmented, guys. It's just so pigmented. It just goes so far, right? And I want it very, very light up there. Then we'll play with some pencils too. But remember, it's watercolor in a marker. It's not just like markers. They are different. It is different than just your markers. Okay, see? Yeah, ombre is like the faint, the dark light medium, just gets lighter and lighter. It kind of fades, like a fading. Yeah, fading. See how it fades? You can even pull up some more if we want a little bit further up. Let's bring the turquoise up just even a little bit further. Like that. Kind of feather it in. So we do lettering. That pretty. You can take more time to really, get it blended well. Hey, Dawn. Well, these are, for one thing, Debbie, they're much more vibrant. And I haven't used the Tombow markers in probably 20 years. So I can't even remember how well they blend. Maybe somebody's got the Tombows and they use them now and tell me how well they blend because I haven't used them in probably 20 years. I don't even have any left. But I can tell you that one difference is Tombows, if I'm not mistaken, are marker like they're felt tip, Debbie, they're felt tip. These are actually that's an actual brush. That's actual hairs. It's not a felt tip marker. This is liquid watercolor. Yes, Carrie. This is liquid watercolor. So I've not used the Tombows in, like I said, 20 years, maybe long. Yeah, at least 20 probably. Yeah, the tip is very tiny. I mean, let me show you the water brush. This is a fine water brush, and you can see. There we go. And it's a real brush. It's not fiber. It's not like a marker. It's not like fibers. It's a brush. So, but as far as the blendability goes and adding water with the Tombos, if somebody here has the Tombos, can you add water to the Tombos and have them do that? I don't know because it's been so long I don't even remember. So, hey Terry. So I know there's a lag in chat, so I'm waiting to see if somebody uses them or has them. And Debbie said you can use water with them. Okay. I'm sure there's people that have done comparisons with the different ones because there's also the Winsor and Newton watercolor markers. But I think again, I think those markers have a brush, not a brush tip, a fibrous tip. They have like a marker tip. Okay. So I'm just saying that for it to have a real brush, that's going to be a lot easier to blend and move your paint around. That's going to be a lot easier to move and brush and blend than say a marker that's fibrous. You know what I mean? The fiber tip, like the marker tip. Okay, so Eileen says that these are 1,000 times better than the Tombos, and trust me, Eileen has them all. But as far as a full-on comparison, I'm sure you can YouTube search for somebody that's done them a lot. This is my first time I've ever used them, and I said that at the beginning. So, and I haven't used Tombos, like I said. I don't even remember when the last time I had a set of Tombos. Okay, so let's go ahead now and let's do some pinks. Let's do some, maybe some pink. Let's do pink and gray. Ooh, okay, let's see. I got two light grays and a kind of a, it's almost like a coral and a pink. Oh, I think I do have another lighter pink. Let's see. This pink. Let me do a little test to see which pink I want to use. That's kind of coral. That's probably a better one to use with that. It's hard to see that that's a light pink. Let me just do a little test swatch down here. Okay, that's a little, that's light pink. What's this? It's more coral. I don't know. These two almost, yeah, that's more coral. Let's go with these two pinks and two grays and just see. It still looks a little corally. Let's test this one. This one's almost like a flesh tone. Yeah, that's more peach. That's more peach too. Okay. So we're going to try these colors. Yes, real brush marker. And that's what they say on there too. It's Zig, made by Kuretake, distributed by Zig. Clean color, real brush, watercolor markers. That's a mouthful. Did a crazy hair girl in doodlers with these and got 3 colors from one marker. But let me ask you this. Now, I do know the Doodlers Anonymous book is a little thicker. The paper's a little thicker, but did you find as you were wetting it, it was starting to pill? Because to get markers to blend, you got to do quite a bit of water, either water or a lot of the pigment so that it blends, and that's gonna, I would think, peel up the paper like it does on cardstock, like Eileen was just saying. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'll start with let's do some pink. Let's do the dark pink here. So I'm going to do it's real nice. I mean, these things are so vibrant. I wish you could see how vibrant they are. I'm going to do the same ombre effect here with some other color. We're just playing. I'm not trying to complete this as a completed watercolor thing. This is just my test sheet. My test sheet. Okay. Now I'm going to use the light. Now I'm not going to use any water right now. I just want to blend in these colors. And it's so pigmented. You really, I can't tell you how pigmented that is. Just like I keep saying it, but it is. It's very pigmented. So I'm going to do the same thing like I did with the blue, but with the pink. And I'm picking up a lot of the dark. So I want to make sure I keep some of the light there. And just add some of the light pink. I tried to scribble them on acrylic block and then watercolor with them. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen, and people do that too with their like the distress ink pads, and the ink pads you can put it on an acrylic block and pick it up. Pick it up off of that block like you do with the stamp pads, like your distress ink pads. You can stamp some of your ink onto an acrylic block and use a water brush or water, pick it up. Okay, so let's just blend out that just to make it real faint there. Just blend it in. So again, this is the first time I've used them. This is not a full-on tutorial or anything like that. I'm sure there's thousands, well, at least hundreds. I'm sure there's hundreds of videos on using these. So there we go. That was pretty. Again, once these are all dry, and I'll make sure they're dry with a heat gun. I'm going to play with some color pencil on top of it too. Okay. Yeah, a $25 test sheet. I've had these since 2007, and what do you call it? Xandra said that they're selling these for $25 a sheet on Amazon. All right, so now let's do some grays. I got a couple of the grays here, light gray and a dark gray, and I want to do this here. I'm going to do the grays. All right, and this is kind of a blue gray. It's kind of like a slate gray. So I'm going to put the dent on. But I couldn't find, oh, I wanted to use these anyway, but I couldn't find my watercolor pad. I have a pad of watercolor paper, and I don't watercolor. I mean, I've done a couple, but I don't very rarely use watercolor paper, so I couldn't find it. Looks like TV. Instead, the Y is kind of like under there. All right, so now I'm going to take the light gray. So I saw something. Jean's going to do something on her Monday show. Some coloring book transfers. Oh, that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that, Jean. Okay, so I'm just going to blend these in and pull that up. I'm going to stop it there because I'm going to add water. Okay, but you can see, you can just really, it really does blend really nice. Can you see how well you can blend that out? I hope it's showing. Yeah, links are open, guys. If you find some sites that have reviews and whatnot, go ahead and put them in the, you can put them in the link, in the chat. Stay in camera here. All right. Now I'm going to take the water and pull that up into a nice light gray. And see how much I'm scrubbing it in and getting water on there? That's, you can do that because this is nice, thick watercolor paper. That's why they make watercolor paper for watercolors, because you got to add a lot of water. So either way, whether you use water or not, you can see how cool they blend. I hope it's showing up. Let's blend that one a little better. And again, I'm going to go in here with some pencil and test and play. Okay. Hey, Sherry. Well, we got, when we were dismissed from jury duty yesterday, they told us to come back on Thursday, unless we get a phone call saying we don't need to come back Thursday. Otherwise, so I'm off jury duty today and have to be back tomorrow. So I'm testing out my zigs. Zig Clean Color Real Brush that Eileen sent me. So there's some different flowers and just testing out, blending without any water, blending with some water. So you can kind of see here. But anyway, that's really kind of cool, don't y'all think? Let's do a couple more leaves here. Let's do this green. We haven't used this green and a light green. Let's do a couple of greens. Well, let me test this green. That's bright green. Let's do a bright green and that dark green. That was pretty bright. Yeah, let's do these two. No, that might not be different enough. Well, we'll try. Okay. So I'm just going to go in here with the dark. These are real vibrant greens, right? So I'm just going to add some green in there. And this is a vibrant green too. May not be enough contrast. I don't know. I'm just going to add some on the leaf like this. And then take the water on this one and kind of, I think I'll start with the light and go into the dark. May not be enough. I don't know if it's showing up on camera or not. Kind of play that away. And then you can kind of feather out the dark into the veins. This, you know, this printed paper here is kind of, it's got thick lines. It's got thick, you know, thick dark outlines. I'm sure some of the color books and color things that you can find, and your stamps, you're going to stamp out something much more delicate, you know, be much more delicate. All right, now let's take some of the orange. Let's take some orange in here and put that on there. Now again, you got to be careful with green and you know, orange and red. They're going to turn into brown. I just want to kind of touch a little bit of yellow on the edge of the leaves. Now see, it did get a little bit of green, you know, green on there, but I'm just going to go over here and just kind of clean it off. Look, took 3 strokes to completely clean that off. See how pointy that is? How delicate? Okay. Let's just throw in a little, I don't know. I think that's kind of dark enough already. Need some purple. What other colors do we have to use? Oh, let me just show you the flesh colors or the different ones. Let's pull these out. Now I haven't pulled out the grays. Oh, and there is this green too. I forgot about this green. Oh, that's a pretty green. See, I should use that green in there. That's a pretty mint green. Minty. Minty green. Let's go up here with that. It's kind of a minty green. Let's put some of that down and some of the... And now I'm going to go back with the mint. Just blend those two together. Isn't that pretty? Pretty. And we could go back in there with a little bit darker green. It's just fun to play with them. It really is fun to play with them, Eileen. Hey, Lysenia. Anybody else popping in? I think I said hi to you, CB. Oh, I missed something Jean said. Is it something to do with her show on Monday? I missed something. Oh, well. Okay, so then you can see that's like with the mint green and the olive green. This is with the dark green and the bright green and just a little bit of the orange. And then you see the different 2 shades of gray, 2 shades of pink. I think that was 3 blues. 3 blues. And up here, this is with no water. That's just the markers. We just blended red, orange, yellow, and green. And then this is no water here, and then just water there. So you can kind of see different. I'm doing it too. We drew some bad flowers. Yeah, well, if you know, you can always stamp. Use stamps, right? All right, let's do this flower in yellows and oranges. All right, so I'm going to put some of the yellow down here. Well, this is kind of not the lightest yellow. Here's the lightest yellow. Let's put that on the ends. Let's put some of that. Let's put some of the orange. Let's just do these 3 colors. And the pigment really lays where you put it. Doesn't really... Now, let's go ahead and do something with some water on it first. You know, with water. And then putting it into it. Let's see how that works. All right, let's blend these out. Like if your paper is wet, your watercolor paper is wet into wet, so to speak. Okay, so there you go. That's pretty. Oh, it needs some red. Let's go ahead and with the red because I want it to show up. Or, yeah, I want this to show up. So let's put some red in here. just to play. You know who I wonder has seen these, or has, and he probably has, is Steve Mitchell. If y'all don't follow, I think it's Steve or Steven. I think it's Steve. Steve Mitchell does watercolor tutorials on YouTube, and he did some classes with the Strathmore. I wonder if he's tried these out. Does anybody know if Steve's tried these out? If Steve's tried out these watercolor? Yes, it's really nice. It blends. It just blends really nice. Hey, Whippy. Hey, Sarah. Okay, so there we go. There's some ombre-looking letters, a few different shades of greens and reds, and then this is still wet. Oh, what I wanted to do is let's get this wet. Let's get a leaf really wet here. I'm gonna. Oh, I didn't clean it off. Hang on, guys. Let me clean it off. All right, so I just want to wet this leaf down, right? Just so like if you had it like a wet into wet, and let's just see how that takes the watercolor, the marker. Did you get the link I sent you? Oh, you're talking to Sarah. Steve Mitchell, he's the mind of watercolor. Yeah, I love Steve Mitchell too. The mind of watercolor is Steve Mitchell, but I can't remember him using these either. Yeah. Yeah, he's real, especially good if you've never really watercolored. I mean, he does more advanced things too, but you'll learn a lot if you've never watercolored before. I would recommend Steve. Okay, so that's got the papers real wet. I'm kind of letting it soak in. You know, when you want your water to kind of soak in. If you're, going to add color to it. Let's see. Let's put a nice bright color that'll show up. Maybe the purple. Let's do a purple. We'll do a purple leaf. I just wanted to see if it'll show up. I mean, how it'll look. See, I just touched it there. I don't know if you can see. Can you see how it just? I need to do it in a circle or something. So you can do like the wet and wet. So that's just dabbing that. Let me use yellow because it'll be a high contrast, so you can see where I just touch it. All right, now I haven't tried to blend anything yet. See, I've just touched it. That yellow's not showing up on camera. Let me go with orange. Okay. See, I've already soaked up the water, I think. All right. See how it just feathered out with the touch? Let me try another spot. Let's see here. Here's a little spot right here. All right, so I'm going to get this real wet right here. Okay, now I'm just going to let that sit for a minute so it soaks in. You want the water to like saturate the paper if you're going to do wet and wet so that it's like consistently wet in that area. Okay. Thanks, Jean. Yeah, mind of watercolor. He's awesome. He really is. Okay. All right, so now let's see. Let's take a color that'll show up. Probably red. Red will probably show up. So I'm just going to touch. This is all wet right here. Okay, let's see if I can get the shine. Can you see? There you go. See how it's wet right there? All right, now I'm just going to touch the watercolor. See? That would make some good little flowers just in themselves. See how it feathered out? Now, if you were trying to do this, if you were trying to add a marker, I don't know about the Tombow, but if you tried to take a regular marker and try to add that's not made for, just regular old markers, and try to do this, you're going to ruin the felt tip marker. But because this is a real brush tip, I think you can see. I think this is the dark pink. This is the dark pink. I thought I was picking up red. No, it is the red. Is it the red? Yeah. Well, it's what they're calling red. I think it's carmine. What is it? Yeah, carmine red. So you can see that. Hey, DeMonte. Okay, so there we go. We got some tests with them. Now, what I want to do is let this draw. I'll hit it with a heat gun, and then want to play with some pencils. Tombow is spelled so you don't know either. Yeah. looks like that famous actor. Oh, I don't know. I don't know, Shar. Okay, so let me move these out of the way and let's hit this with the heat gun just to make sure everything's really dry because that's still real wet. This is damp. And so I want to make sure everything's dry before I go in there with color pencil on top, right? All right, so let me heat gun. It takes a little more because the paper's thick, right? So I want to make sure it's nice and dry. Okay, I think we're good. All right, let me move my markers over here. All right, let me get I want to try white especially. Okay, I gotta dig in my bags. I took all my pencils to jury duty yesterday. Well, not all of them, but I took a bag full with me to jury duty yesterday. All right, let's get a white. I want a dark rose color and a pink. Here's a pink. Let's see. And I gotta dig for a minute, guys. I need a red. So I want to use some of the same colors. There's a lighter pink. And a light blue and a yellow. Let's see. Hang on, guys. I need an orange. I want a few oranges and yellows here. All right, I just picked a couple colors here. We'll see. Oh, I didn't get a green. Okay, that's yeah, dark green and a lime color, just a couple. I just want to do some testing on top. All right. Okay, let's try black and white on the gray. So we have white and black. I don't want dark gray. There we go. Okay. So I want to just do some more shading where it'll be real obvious. All right. So I'm going to take the black. I'm going to do some. Okay, now remember also, color pencil on watercolor paper, it's going to leave texture. Okay, let me make it real obvious here. I mean, let me bring it up farther so you can see the texture. So if you're going to want to blend completely flat, we'll do some watercolor pencils too. Some ink tints, that might be good. Okay. All right, so I don't know if you'll be able to see. Yeah, you can see. See the texture? See the texture of the pencil? So if you're using color pencil on top of, it works, I mean, it's fine, but it's textury. You're not going to get a flat surface unless you really bear down, and mash the paper. You have to mash the paper to get it to, not show pencil streaks. Because let me show you, let me show you on the back. This is the texture that you're getting. That's the texture right there. Where on, let's just say, cardstock, okay, there's the difference in the papers. Can you see? Okay, Lysenia. See how much smoother it is on cardstock? Go a little darker here just so you can see. So if you want to get a nice blend like you can with your color pencils when you take your time, and I've shown you a whole lot of color penciling. If you want to get that nice blend and stuff, you're not going to get it on the watercolor paper. Yeah. Well, yeah, you can use a hot press, which is a little, this is cold press here, but this is all I have that has any kind of print on it. Now, Eileen, she probably stamps. You stamp on hot press, Eileen, when you do your stamping? I can't find my watercolor paper, guys, so this is all I had to test with right now. I have some watercolor pads, but I can't find them because I don't use them up until now. So, yeah, now the hot press, how I find that I do have a cold press pad, and I might even have a couple hot press sheets in my giant thing of paper. I have a big portfolio of papers. I just have not had time to go digging through my papers. But I buy hot press by the sheet, and you can even get that at Michael's. I think it runs about 4.95, and it's been a while since I bought one, so if it's gone up, maybe it has. But for a big like 30 by, I don't know, what is it? 24 by 30, maybe? 24 by 30 sheet of watercolor paper. Hot press is about $5. Okay, this is the same on both sides here. This particular Prima sheet, it's the same on both sides. Not one side's not smoother than the other. It's the same on both. Um, but if you're making, just like Eileen makes cards with hers where she'll stamp the little bird, one big sheet, a $5 sheet of paper, it's going to last you a long time, right? You're going to get a lot of little birds out of a 24 by 30 sheet of paper. Okay, Terry said it was $10 at Mike's. Last time I looked, it was 4.95 for a sheet of hot press, but could have gone up. But then again, like Terry said, use a coupon. You 40 or 50% off. They have 50% off coupons every now and then. They have a 40% one every week. So just go get you a one sheet and cut it up. Okay, cold press is $5. Hot press, she said, is 10. Okay. So yeah, and you like I said, use a coupon. Okay, if you're telling me okay, gotcha, Shar. All right, so again, you can see where I've gone over that with the pencil. Now let's go back in here though with the dark gray. Let me find it here. Was that it? Yeah. I'm going to go back over the color pencil just to see if I can get rid of the lines. I bet I can. Get rid of the texture. Now it doesn't blend. Okay, the color, my Prisma colors are not blending. I'm just kind of going over it to get rid of the texture, but they're not watercolor pencils. The Prisma colors. All right, now let me take my water brush and kind of blend that out. So yeah, I would recommend if you're going to use just plain color pencil that you have hot press, which is just really smooth. The cold press is, it's not too rough. It's not like rough. There's also rough watercolor. It's called rough. That's the texture. So it got rid of it covered it up. I should say it filled in. It filled in the texture. Okay, it didn't blend it out because again, my Prismacolor, just plain Prismacolor pencils are not water soluble. Okay, so there we go. Hope that's kind of a little bit of a demo. Let's try, because this is cold press, I can't do the blending with the color pencil that I, pulled all these colors for because it's just not smooth enough. All right, so let's try some water. Let's try some like ink tints, watercolor pencils. Let's go with some ink tints. Let's see if we can do a little more shading with that. Okay, so like on this dark pink here, let's take a dark, and I'm going to have to do it. The thing about ink tints is they are totally not the color. The color, it's hard to, tell the color. You really need a color chart with your ink tints. All right, so let's just go with this. It's a little darker than I wanted. You can see right there. But what I want to do is just test it. All right, so I'm just going to put some of the ink tints to shade the bottom here and see how we can blend into. Again, it feels rough, doing because the watercolor paper is rough. And you can see the marks. You can see the marks of a pencil, but the difference is these are water soluble. Ink tints are water soluble. Okay. And now I'm just going to kind of blend that in because that'll, it'll move. So I'm just going to add a little bit of darker shadow down at the bottom. And of course it's water soluble, so it's going to be fine with the zig. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see the darker bit at the bottom? Let's add some black. Let's go with like black. Let's see, where's my black? Oh, I might not have the black in here. Well, here, this is dark violet. That'll work. I'm going to add a real dark to the bottom here. Ink tints again. Water soluble. And then I'm going to see how well I can blend it with the Kiritaki. Okay, so now let me take the dark pink. Take the dark pink and see if that kind of blends in there. It's moving the ink tints up. I can kind of... There we go. Now let me take the light pink. Where's my light pink? It's the coral. Where's my light pink? See, I'm going to have to put some tabs on them so I can see them both ways. Where is it? Is this the one we use? I think that's the one we use. Yeah, this is the one we use. I'm just going to blend that in. I'm not sure if this is the same pink. Okay, so I can tell you this. The ink tints it'll blend, but it's like trying to fight you a little bit. It's not blending as easy as just the markers themselves. So it'll do it, but it's not doing it as easily. But that's pretty. Okay. See, I used like the coral pink. Where's the light pink? Where's the light pink? There's the purple. Where is it? So is this it? No? I don't know what I did with it. Was it this one? Or you know what I think it is I think I just used water at the very top. That's what it was. I just used water to pull it up. Pull the color up. It's pretty though. So there we go. What do y'all think? The thing about them, see how vibrant they are? Can you see how vibrant the color is? It's just like Such pure color. It's just so vibrant. And there's some purple. See how vibrant that is? And this is the three, this is red, orange, yellow, and lime green with no water. That's just the marker right there. So is there anything else y'all want to see me test with these? Because like I said, this is the first time I've used these too. The colors are, look how vibrant that is. It's just such a vibrant color. Our little test sheet here. My $25 test sheet. Oh, skin tone test. That's right. That was the other one. Okay, so let's slide these to the side. All right, let me dig those out. Well, at least, get the colors here. I gotta find them now. I got them all mixed up together. Got them all mixed up together now. Oh, this, a tan. Okay. All right, so these are the close, kind of a yellow maybe in there too. Let's see. Yeah, I'll have to do a little, I think I'll do a little swatch thing and show you how I'm going to do the tips to the caps. Okay, so we're going to do skin test right in here. All right, so these are all any kind of colors that could be used for skin, including like a golden color, like a sienna, dark brown. Okay, so first let's just do a little swatch of each color. Okay, and then I'll pull it out with the water. Okay, so there's the darkest one. Then here's like a russet. I'm gonna be able to see the colors. So we're just gonna kind of a yellow ochre color. This one's called oatmeal. This one's called mustard. And then these three colors are the lightest ones. This one is called, what is it called? It's just called flesh color. Flesh color, that's the name of it. This one is a pink. Let's see what color is it called. Light pink. And then this one is called pale pink. Okay, so those are the colors. Now let me just take the water brush and just kind of feather them out so you can see them. Now the light colors, obviously you're not going to be able to see very much. But I just want to kind of blend them out. It's probably hard to see those colors. But I want to try to feather them out as much as I can. I don't know. I don't know what contest you're talking about. Something, it scrolled off, guys. If it's not in caps, I catch it sometimes, but I don't really pay a lot of attention if it's not in caps. I just figure it's the conversation going on, and it scrolls by real fast. I mean, I look down and look up, and it's a whole different screen. It goes by real fast. So I didn't catch the contest thing y'all are talking about because it wasn't in caps. So. Contest with Pia. Okay, I know. I didn't know there was a contest. Is it a color book contest? Yeah. Who was it? Somebody else was having was it Blick? Not a color book contest, but some kind of a contest. I don't have, I just, guys, I really do not, you just don't know how little time I have off camera, off camera. And it's just, It's hard for me just to get my commissions done in a timely manner, let alone do more and the color books that I want to show y'all, let alone do some contests. So, all right, so there's the skin colors, and again, that's just called flesh color, light pink, and what was the other one? Pink, light pink, and that's flesh. And what was the other pink called? Pale pink. So light pink, pale pink, and flesh. Okay, thanks guys. Yeah, I'll have to just go. Yeah, I can't go to the links right here. Thanks, so Teresa, but everybody else can. Okay, so, oh no, don't get me wrong, I love streaming. I love streaming because I love sharing everything with you guys and the color books and everything else. But there's only so many, like what do we say? So many color books, so little time. There's just, you can't do it all, right? Okay, so there's the colors. So let's take a couple and just try to blend them, like maybe, well, you're not going to be able to see those. Let's just do these two colors. Let's do, I think it was mustard and was it oatmeal? Mustard and oatmeal. Let's see if those are the colors. Yeah, let's try those two colors so you can see a blend, right? All right, so I'm going to go on this side here. Oh, I don't know. These may not show up either on camera. All right, that's oatmeal, and this is mustard, okay? So I'm going to do that. Now, oh, well, let's just do it with just the markers. Okay, which one's the darkest? Let's do it with just the markers, not any, without any, oh, wait. Oh, sorry. I mixed those two colors already. All right, let's try this again. All right, let's take the mustard. Okay, so there's the mustard. Now I'm going to take the oatmeal. And then let's take a lighter color too, because is this one lighter? Oh no, that's almost the same. Okay, the other one's lighter. Okay, there's those two, and then the lighter of the three. No, I picked the darker one again. Okay, they're so much alike, I can't tell the difference when I'm looking at them. Because I'm mixing the dark, the medium, the light, the medium. Okay, let's just go ahead and pull this out here so we can see the colors. I'd like to do the peach colors, but you can't see those on camera. Yeah, they do blend well. They blend excellent. But I was trying to show so you could see an actual blend. But I kept getting the three colors mixed up. Because look. You think this one's lighter, but that one's lighter. That one's lighter than that one. Yeah. And the pink and the peach, of course, that's not going to show up on camera. All right, so let's do one more quick thing. Let's go with the blue and a green. Let's go with the light green and a blue. What's that? The lightest green? No, this is probably the lightest green. The mint. Let's try these. Let's just try these two. All right, so we're going to try the cobalt blue. And the pale green. Seen that purdy? Purdy! I tell you, purdy. Hey, KP. Isn't that purdy? All right, let's try blue and yellow to see what kind of green we get. Let's try Prussian blue and yellow. How about that? Prussian blue and yellow. Is it showing up? Can y'all see the color? All right, let's see what else. Let's do pale pink and red. Let's do those. Okay, let's do a red. Oh, this is called carmine red. It's almost like a dark pink. It's not quite red to me, but. And really, I should have even went with the lighter pink, I think. All right, now let's go with, there's the pink and the red, carmine. It's carmine red, so it's a little bit pink. And then let's go with the pale flesh color here. Is it showing up? Yeah. Okay. Can you get the blue off the yellow? Oh yeah, it comes right off, I'm telling you. Let me, look, it's already, that's it. There's nothing on there. One swipe on a Kleenex and that's all you need. All right, let me pick up some of that dark. Okay, so there's the dark green on the yellow, and you just kind of wipe it. Look, that's it. Now it's back to yellow. It's back to yellow already. See? So yeah, it comes right off. Because remember, this is a brush. It's not a felt tip. It's not felt where it's going to soak in the color. It's just like if you used a paintbrush, right? It's just like a paintbrush. It is a paintbrush. It is a paintbrush. Let's see what other color. Oops, gotta put the lid back on this one. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to do. All right, so I think, let me just do it on, because I wanted something thin. Let me just get a piece of paper here. What I want to do now is do a test for a punch out. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the color and do like a circle like that. So what I want to do now, I want it to dry. I want it to be dry because a punch, well, let's do it closer to the edge, shall we? If you try to punch this out while it's wet, it's going to, it's going to not punch, right? So let me go ahead and I want to do a test one. All right, now let me get a hole punch. See if this is a big enough punch. I think this should be. Just big enough to see. Okay, all right, where'd it go? Where'd my punch go? Oh, it's still stuck in there. I didn't punch it all the way out. Okay, so what I want to do is now take some Eileen's Tacky. Hang on, let me get up under there. And I want to just put, let me clean my Eileen's Tacky thing off. I just want to put a dot of glue and put that little punched out bit on the end. So, because when they're in the box, you can't see this. Okay, if you put them in the right way. So I've got them in upside down right now. Well, I've got them all on the table, but they have a cap thing that's bigger than the bottom. So if you try to put this end into the box, it can catch on this. Okay, it can catch on that. So you really want to put them in the box this way. But when you put them in the box this way, you can't see that. So Jennifer McGuire showed that she punched out the color. So there we go. No, this is watercolor. It's not ink. It's watercolor, Whippy. Yeah, it's not permanent. It's watercolor. So yeah. So there we go. So now when I put it in the take them all out. So now when I put them in the box, right, like this, I can see the color. And the cap color is pretty true. That's pretty true to the color. but it's just you can't see it when it's down like that, right? Yeah, it's liquid color with a brush and a marker. Yeah. So that's a good idea right there. I've done it on my some of my paints before, but let's do a couple more real quick. Let's do a couple more just so you can see the color. Okay, let's do this gray blue. Where's my blues? Let's do the because they're all out of order now. This one is, what is that? That's black. Here's the other blue. And I'm not sure how many colors. Eileen sent me the 36. Okay, where's the cap for this one? Eileen sent me 36. Right, I'm missing a cap. Come back to Mama. Oh, there it is. Came off when I pulled it out of the box. I'm not sure how many they make, how many colors they make. I'm telling you, this is a lot of colors. This is a lot of colors. Okay. All right, now which one did I not do? Is it this one? Is it the same? Okay, let's do 4. Yeah. All right, let me hit it with the heat gun because otherwise it's not going to punch. All right, so let's see. Do a couple of them here. All right, where'd that go? There it is. I'm not pretty punch out. It's probably good that it didn't punch out because it's easier to get. Then again, it leaves a little edge when it doesn't punch out. There we go. This hole punch is probably 30 years old, if a day. There we go. Is that one? Where are ya? Where are ya? There it is. See, that one didn't come off either. I just want to punch a couple here. And should have used my crocodile. That's what I should have used. Crocodile. Okay, I don't like that one. That one didn't. I cut it too much. Let's not put that one in there. All right, what's the third one? This one. This gray. Let's do these 3. Did that one come off? There it is. Okay. Let's do these 3. Let's do the gray. I just want to dash a little dot of glue. This is a really cool idea to put that on there. Now, if I get the right color with the right one, this one. That. Just put a little dot of the color. There's a set of 80. Oh, good grief. Terry goes, oh dear. So yeah, I'm going to dot all of them. I'm not going to make you all sit here and watch me do it. I'm just saying. Oh my goodness. But I'll just do these couple of them here. Terry says bye. Okay, bye. Oh, she already left. Okay, electrical storm. Yeah. And one more. So anyway, guys, you got any questions or want to see anything else done? Again, this is the first time I've ever played with them other than making a swatch, swatch chart with these colors. So there we go. Sit and watch me dot them. But then now when they're in the box, right, you can see them. See the colors. Because you want this part is just narrower. That's how I had them in at first. Is with the cap though can get stuck in the box. get hung up. So this way you can see the colors like that. Eileen, have you dotted all of yours? Terry's going to do that with hers. I love them, Eileen. They're awesome. The vibrancy of the color. I mean, you just can't look at that. Look at that vibrancy. Look at that color. I mean, who wouldn't love that vibrant color? Look at it. Isn't it awesome, guys? And y'all saw me blend them. But yeah, that's probably what I'll do with those, just so you can see them. Another thing on your wish list. And 36 colors, there's a lot. I mean, because you can blend them so much. I mean, if in a regular marker, like that would be like 3 colors, you know, in just like a water base, or I mean, a alcohol based marker, you know, that's a lot of shades. That's a lot of shade. Don't be throwing shade. Yeah, I haven't tested them with the Neos. I tested them with the ink tints. But the thing about doing pencil is the roughness of it, right? Because this is not hot press. This is cold press. This is cold press watercolor paper. Yeah. So, and I don't know what kind of papers are in. Have any of y'all know what kind of watercolor paper is in the Prima watercolor book? Is it cold press or hot press? Eileen, do you know? Yes, for those of y'all just wanting to know, this is the Zig, made by Kuretake, Zig Clean Color Real Brush watercolor markers. It's real watercolor in here. Get over art shyness? All right, let's talk about that, Sarah. What kind of art shyness do you have? I'll put on my therapist hat. No, I'm not a therapist. Don't anybody email me. Hey, Vicky, I just saw you. You're being quiet today. The postcards were cold press. Yeah, the postcards were just like this. Because I remember, I had the postcards. I sent them all out. But they were like this too. But the color book, Prima's come out with one, and somebody said, what's the other one? Christy Rice, and also Michaels. Michaels has some. I bet Michaels though is going to be their postcards are probably like this. Oh, some of the other ladies. Yeah, I was going to say, Sarah, because you stream, so you can't be too shy. Who's too shy to stream? Raise your hand. Everybody here that's too shy to stream. Yeah, I know you stream, Sarah. No, I don't. They're not refillable. I don't know what you'd refill them with. I mean, I don't. They're not refillable. As far as I've never seen any kind of bottles of refillables for these. I just like to use stamps on hot press and then use the brushes. Yeah. Dawn and Judy have art shyness. You mean in the sense of streaming? Dawn, you mean streaming? Or do you just mean showing your art, like posting your art? Because it's a total different shyness. Now, Vicky you stream, Vicky. Okay, Vicky says, I'm too shy to stream, but I did it. That's right. That's right. Janet, I doubt that, Janet. Janet goes, I'm not shy. I'm boring. Janet, your sense of humor and your uh, zines, I doubt very seriously if you're boring, Janet. We've seen your writing. A lot of you have your hand raised. Sending art to others. I don't know. I think the more you do it, the better you get. and better, no, in the sense of sharing your work. Okay. Yeah, Vicky goes, I was sweating, but I did it. You did. Yeah, Vicky. Here, let me tell you, Vicky. She had a 5-year lapse between the two videos that she did one, and 5 years later she did another. So she's brave, Vicky, our Vicky. You don't think so, Terry, but all of us will color, we'll watch anybody color or test markers. It's all fun. And just getting to know everybody, it doesn't matter if they're, you don't think about it like that. Yeah. Or the viewers don't. Yeah. It wasn't it 5 years, Vicky? I think it was. I mean, I'm not exaggerating, am I? Wasn't it 5 years between your two streams? But yeah, so anyway, guys, I think you got to see some of the. Look at these awesome colors. Look at those colors. They're just so bright and vibrant. The Prima watercolor coloring book is on watercolor, but yeah, but is it hot press or cold press? It doesn't say. Then it's probably cold press then, Janet. I bet their color book is on cold press. Well, and you don't have to if you're not comfortable showing your face, you don't have to show your face. I mean, a majority of the people that you watch, most of them don't. Most of them do not in the art and craft world. Most of them don't show their face. Oh, funny. Hubster goes, the courthouse just called. They need you to come back at 11:30. Just kidding. I'm going to go, oh, well, yeah, that's going to be pushing it. Hey, Angie Bell, I was testing out the markers, the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers that Eileen sent me. Oh, brother. Okay, yeah, Vicky ordered it, so when it gets there, she'll let us know. Do another flower. Okay. Yeah, we could do this one here. Do that real quick. I know, right? What a card. All right, well then let's do. We already did a yellow and orange one here. What colors should we do? Did a purple one. You want to do a blue one? Let's do a blue one. Let's see, a blue and gray. Let's see. Oh, I'll put my blues in here. Let's do these two shades of blue and a light gray. Where's my light gray? See, I haven't swatched all these yet. They're just sitting on the table here, guys. I got to dig through. Let's see. I want these two and a light gray. Ah, here we go. All right, let's do these. Let's do these three colors. We'll do these. I know. Look how vibrant they are. Okay, so let's do like these colors here. All right, so we'll just put some dark in the middle. I'm just going to feather this out. I'm not going to try to necessarily do it like, a true on flower. Let's just play with blending. Okay, so now I'm going to do the blue. And again, I don't know how well it's going to show up, but I'm just going to go all the way around like this. I'm not trying to do individual petals, just to... Oh, it repeated because I didn't answer. All right, now let's see about the gray. Let's see if that's too dark. Nope, that should work. All right, so now I'm going to take the gray to make it into like a light blue. And then I'll add water at the very, very edges. See how it blends? Isn't it beautiful, guys? Eileen, somebody asked about there's a refill, and I know there's not refills, but how long do they seem to last a good while for you? Because Eileen's used them the most. Made them a lot. She's made a lot of cards with them. So I'm just wondering how long they last, Eileen. Let's go back to blending that one right there. Do you have you, can you give us any idea? Any indication? All right, now I'm going to take the water. Where's my water brush? And blend out that. Oh, I didn't clean my brush. Hang on, guys. I didn't clean my water brush. And blend all the way out to the edge. Just so we can see. They seem to last a good while. Okay. So I'm just blending them all the way to the edge. And you can pull that out more. I mean, there's a lot of pigment right in there, right? So you can just pull it out like that. Isn't it lovely? Isn't it lovely? The colors are lovely, Eileen. Lovely. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something white. Now, again, the pencil, because of this particular paper, where's my white pencil? It's going to be rough. But I wanted to see if we could, like, maybe highlight, you know, kind of push down a little bit on the white. Nah, it's not really. It's because the paper's so rough. They're bright and vibrant, aren't they? But let's go with a, let's try the paint pen on top. Well, you know the paint pen's going to work. Let me just kind of outline this just to, you know, kind of just see what happens. Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to go on top and let's just see how a paint pen, like, does, whoops, like, does it soak in? Does it lose some of the color? Eileen probably has used these. Eileen's the one that needs to be testing these. But there's the paint pen on top. Went around the little letters there. I can't do anything on this until I dry it. That's still wet. So yeah, it's fun to play with these. Fun to play. So any more questions, guys? What do y'all think? Do y'all think they're fun? I think they're fun. Oh, let's go on this flower here. Let's just play along an edge here. Let's just highlight the tips. The petal. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? It's soaking in a little because the paper is probably still, you know, not 100% dry. But it's doing pretty good. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to head out. I'm going to finish that. I'm going to post that drawing. I guess I'll make a little thumbnail here. A little thumbnail something with some of these markers in it, like for the video. You know, let's see how I want to show the, let's see, I should take the caps off of a couple. Take a photograph. Let's see, let's do a purple. Where's the other purple? Here's the, let's put a couple of purples and a green for the picture, for the photo. The photo op. Like that. That'll be a pretty photo right there, won't it? All right, where's my camera? Let's take a picture, shall we? And I'll tweet that. I think I'll turn it sideways too. Let's go this way. Okay. That should work. Let me put the lids back on these babies. Do they dry? Let me ask you that, Eileen. Do they dry out? I've been here for 2 hours, Angie Bell. And I just happen to have jury duty off today. So I have jury duty tomorrow. I told the girls before you got here, I've sketched you out, Angie, so that when I have a good long day next week, when I have a good long day to draw you, we'll do your portrait. Um, I wanted to see what she said about. Nope, so far they're just fine. Okay. Yay. All right, guys. Well, I hope you all have a good day. And I may or may not have jury duty tomorrow. I won't know till probably tonight, you know. And yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you later. Thanks. Thanks for being here, everybody. Bye.